Welcome to The Blind. It is episode 21. It is season two's finale, and we are here with the main man. He was the main man in season one, and he's still the man in season two. And as we were talking just a minute ago, he needs no introduction. We will
That's right.
introduce him in just a minute, but we've got our buddy Phil Norris with us, coming to us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. And right after we show our intro video, we're going to dive in to Shin Gear and everything that they've got coming and talk a little bit about the past. So here we go. It's episode 21 right here on The Blind. Man, we've even got our man right there in the intro video.
That must have been a summertime that video. I looked about 20 pounds lighter there.
That's
Well,
before season, huh?
That's right. That's right. Well, we have got our buddy Phil Norris with us today. And like I said just a minute ago, he's joining us from Nashville, Tennessee. And so, Phil, tell everybody what you're doing up there.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm actually in a hotel room right now. I thought this would be really fun and cool. And last year so I'm at the National Wild Turkey Federation, the big show here at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. And last year we had these really cool podcast booths set up down there, and you could go in and close it off and do a show like this and still see a bunch of the action and activity behind you. And I could open the door and let you hear the turkey calls. But I walked around for an hour down there and I asked everybody I could, and they don't have them this year. So I tried to set up, and it was just way too loud and noisy and a bunch of things going on that might distract us. So I came up here to try it this way.
Well, I mean, at least if we're going to do a show live in Nashville, at least we get to see what the penthouse suite looks like.
At least no, I guarantee it's not the penthouse suite. I do have, I'm over a courtyard, and if y'all haven't been to this giant complex, it's like a city, like an indoor city in Nashville. I'm not kidding. I don't know what the door count is, but it's got to be thousands and thousands of hotel rooms. And I just heard gobble down here. So if somebody's out there working on their routine, Saturday night they'll have the Grand National Calling Championship, and it's really a trip. I mean, this is by far my favorite show. The families, I rode up the elevator, which is a maze. I mean, I've been here for years and years, and I still can't find my way to the room. And these two girls got on the elevator, and they were looking around. I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Well, I've been coming here 17 years. I still don't know my way around." It's just that kind of place, though. Families come and they bring their kids, and so it's fun.
What's the biggest show of the year
from you than all the noise downstairs?
Yeah, that's right. And Garrett and I had planned on being there this year. We talked about it all year, and
Garrett's always got an excuse. The baby.
He does. It was. Look, I'll throw him under the bus anytime.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was his fault that we're not there. I just called him again a week ago and tried to talk him into it, and he was like, man.
There's something about all these little kids that just stick you at the house. So
I
got a good excuse.
Fast. Y'all are doing it the right way. You got plenty of time for that.
We got a lot going on.
I've got one of my best friends from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, can y'all hear that when the email comes in?
We can, but it's fine.
It might happen a lot. I'm not a professional podcaster, so this equipment, somebody from my office helped me, and just excuse any issues I have. But I've got one of my best friends, and his family came up for the week, and it's just if once your kids are old enough, I'd encourage you to come. This is not that
Yeah.
far from home, and there's something to do. They're going to go to the water park tomorrow, and it's just like we've talked a bunch about conservation and Ducks Unlimited and Delta Waterfowl, and some of our waterfowl centric partners. But I mean, the National Wild Turkey Federation does so much good, and without them, we wouldn't have turkeys. And
Yeah.
and the event that they have put on up here, I've been to a lot of events in different industries, and this is just it's second to none. So
Yeah, and it is the the Turkey Federation. But I mean, there's so much from what I hear. I haven't been yet. I thought we were going to go, but again, Garrett crushed my dreams. Um, but I mean, there's everything at the convention
Yeah.
show now. I mean, there's everything you can dream of. There's a lot of duck hunting stuff there.
there's everything, and here's
Everybody.
I thought about this today. I was talked to a bunch of folks, but I had two conversations that really stuck out, and one of them was all about community and all about who our mentors were and how we grew up and what everyone has that thing that kind of clicked that made them fall in love with hunting or fishing or anything in the outdoors. And I remember going to these shows as a kid and just how cool it was to go around to a booth and talk to somebody behind a booth and get a little trinket and buy a t-shirt. And I mean, I looked up to so many of those guys. I remember getting Phil Robertson's autograph on a Duck Commander poster, and then I was old enough to enter a duck calling contest at the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing Expo at the Agri Center. So the show world, I mean, seeing those kids run around down there today, it really hit home with me. And the energy that I get, I'm reminded as soon as I walk in those doors. And I don't know if everybody's like this, but if you're passionate about the outdoors and you're passionate about this community of people, we may have our differences, and people ask me about those differences all the time, but at the end of the day, we all love God's creation and we want to spend as much time as we can out there. And when I opened those doors and got onto the convention hall today, it's just so exciting. I had to take off my hat and unbutton my shirt. I started sweating like immediately. I was so excited, and I just get worked up every time. So,
well, it's just like when we were at in Little Rock at the Delta Expo. I mean, that's what I told Garrett. I mean, we're just a podcast. We don't sell products. We're not a big company out there or a name brand or anything in the outdoor industry, but just being there and being a part of it this past year. I told Garrett, I've probably told him 10 times, man, you just should have been there. Like just the environment and being around it, and just because everyone there is just, you all have the same
just
goal
a community.
in mind. It is.
Yeah,
It's about being a part of that community, whether you're with or associated with certain brands or whatnot. I mean, there's always lines to, drawn in the sand around different things that you're kind of part of different cliques, but being around everyone as a whole group, I mean, it was just, it was a great experience. And we definitely plan on being at, the Delta
Baton Rouge
again this year. And, but I can
I
only,
definitely
we
won't
can
be
only
having
imagine.
any more babies that'll throw that off either. So let me put that out there.
Hey, I'm going to promote as many babies as we can have. We need more of them, and we need them to buy a license. We need them to buy duck stamps.
That's all right.
Keep having them, guys.
That's right. That's right. Well, look, if you tune in live and watch this live on Facebook or YouTube, we appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you like and share the post. Make sure you go over to our social media and like us and follow us as well. Also go over to Shin Gear and follow them for all of the new stuff that they got coming out, along with all of the great stuff they already have in their lineup. But we're going to hit on some of that here later on. But if you listen to the podcast version, which will be out about an hour after we're done with this live version, make sure that you follow and subscribe to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify. So just have to throw that stuff out there, Field. So, but we said that Field didn't need. He's a man that needs no introduction. But just a little background on Field. He was the very first person that we met with Shin. And we've told this story a couple times, but Field was, I'll give the brief version, but Field was
It probably
gracious.
means more to us than it probably does to
Oh,
anybody
absolutely.
else.
More the Field probably wishes I never answered that message back. It's probably what he
That's
thinks.
right.
And now I'm stuck with these guys. They have my cell phone number, and gosh, now I can't get rid of them. One day I'm going to text him, and it's going to say, "Message can't be delivered."
Brian, if we'd lost that game, I would not have shown up that day.
Well, he is a graduate and a big Mississippi State fan, right?
Ole Miss.
So we were
Yeah,
a 2-point conversion away from none of this.
That's right.
happening.
That's right. Yeah, we were
Every year.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I giving him a hard time. But no, he's an Ole Miss fan. Now, are they still the Rebels?
I don't know. That changes.
Okay, year in and year out. Okay, but Ole Miss nonetheless.
We're the Yellow Labs now.
That's right.
Deuce,
The Kiffins. We'll just call y'all the Kiffins.
right.
But no, Field was nice enough to invite us over on a Sunday afternoon when he definitely I shouldn't say probably, he didn't want to come up and meet us, but he made it happen. We sat there and he talked with us for a couple hours, and finally he was ready to kick us out. And he was like, "All right, guys, hey, if you want to order some, just get online or whatever." And Garrett and I were like, we're not leaving without them. Like, we're going home with them today. And he was like, "Well, I really don't know how to do this. I don't know. Let's just put in an online order and y'all just take them with you."
Yeah.
So that's how all this happened. But we appreciate, the friendship for, the last couple of years and the partnership that we have with you guys. And all of you have been really good to us. We really appreciate it. And so, look, let's dive off into you told us in the episode that you've been on with us before, kind of how you guys got started in this. But for people that may be seeing you for the first time, just briefly tell us how all of this came about. How do you get involved in, hey, let's build a waiter? I mean,
well, it's actually really simple. It seems complicated, and it's felt complicated my entire life, to start to build new things and to tackle new ventures. But we literally were sitting around year after year hunting and complaining about having wet feet. So we just, one day we're sitting there and I don't know, the timing was right. It just kind of clicked. And we were like, we put men on the moon. We've got autonomous driving vehicles. I mean, we've got all of these crazy luxuries and fast service and, satellite, Starlink, internet. And we still, at least the group I hunted with, can't make it through a season with a pair of waders. And so I just, and my partners, when I say we spent a lot of time reading and studying and learning about the process, in the industry, and like, why isn't there a fabric that doesn't leak? Oh, well, it's not, there is a fabric that doesn't leak, but you have to do this, this, and this. And then, well, why do they have, 11 little stitching holes per square inch running all the way down both sides of the legs and up in it? Well, because they need all these, you got to have all these gimmicks like hunters want, you got to have the pockets and lights and all the stuff, and that's what sells, because when people are walking through a store, so the more we kind of learned about it and just continued to ask why, and like, why not? Somebody would say, well, you can never use that material, or you can never, and then why not? And we really, the most common answer was it's too expensive, or it'll never sell, or, no one's going to pay that much. And so really, that's a simplified version of how it started, was like, what if we built a waiter and spent whatever we needed to spend to make it as tough as possible, knowing that it will fail and we will have problems and somebody's will leak. I mean, that's something we can talk about in a minute, but they're not bulletproof. they're eventually, especially if you don't take care of them and abuse them, they will have trouble. And so, but let's try to give it a fighting shot, and do the best we can. And that's what we set out to do. And literally said, if we don't sell any of them, we'll have Christmas presents for the next 30 years and we'll give them away to people. And, that's how it all started.
Well, and it's got to be one of the toughest things to make. I mean, making things waterproof, right? I mean, waterproof is pretty difficult to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably got to be one of the most difficult things in the world, because I mean, let's even think of a boat. Okay, we'll take Garrett's boat for an example. I mean, great boat, never had a problem with it. Anything, you always end up with water in the floor, and I'm not even talking about just from you getting in and out. I mean, there's gonna be some kind of little seepage or something somewhere, even though it still floats. I mean, but keeping water out of anything is extremely difficult. So, I mean, just kudos to y'all for what you're doing. But I don't want you to answer or say anything you definitely don't want to, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But how
you gonna bait me into something?
Well, no. Look, you know me. I'm on your side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're your guys. I mean, we're all in.
Tonight I have a pen, Brian. I'm taking notes tonight.
We believe in your product. So I but on your side of things, how hard is it in this wader and hunting garment world now, where there's so much and I'm not going to name any names, but I mean, you come out with something that's a little different, and then somebody else kind of copies it, or, however you want to word it. I mean, how hard is it when you're trying to build a brand like yours, battling with these other companies, or these, whether it's waders or other garments and other things that you're making? I mean, from your side.
Yeah. So it is a highly, competitive market, or saturated market, whatever you want to call it, look, there are less than 1 million duck hunters now. And that's, I mean, if you really start to break down the business and the market, I don't think anybody could go to Harvard and write a, white paper on how they want to get into the duck hunting business. There's just, I don't know that would make sense for a business model. So I think some of the best brands in the industry, and really in the outdoor industry, but have really been founded by passionate, users, and people that are not in it to make money, are really in it because they live in it and they see a need and they fill a gap. There certainly are brands out there that were started by people to make money, and those, I don't think those last very long. So I would argue that there's a place, there's a market, there's a place, there's a customer, and a need for every maybe not every brand, but most of the brands out there that are reputable. And frankly, I'm a user of most of those, and I have been in the past, or still am. And so I think when you have a community that's this size and this like tight knit, you look at, I saw a statistic the other day, they're like 15 million hunting trips taken last year, and there were like 65 million fishing trips. Okay, so we're already at the smaller end, and that's hunting, that's not waterfowl, of the market. But it's a small world, and somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and so there's this kind of we're all competitors, and the minute I make a wader, somebody else comes up with one. Here's what I would say to like what may differentiate us. Okay. And if you ask everybody in our organization, they may have a different answer at first, but I think you'll hear a common theme, that we do not want to be in an arms race on product. I know we make a superior product in certain categories, and I know we'll continue to innovate and build things better, but somebody else will do us, they'll one up us, something else will come out. And I think that's great. I mean, that is good for all of us, as passionate hunters. What we can do, what I would be proud of at the end of the day, is to build and continue to hone a service model that's unparalleled. So what I mean by that is, I don't say my waiter's bulletproof and it's made of angel hair and pixie dust, and but when something happens, we're going to answer the phone and we're going to take care of you. And that is something that's coachable, trainable. That's something we can control that other people may want to try to copy, but it's going to be really difficult, right? So if we can build a moat around that service model, and I'd love for every other brand in the industry and outside the industry to hear that and to try to copy that, because we would all be much happier. Our wives would be happier shopping. Our kids would be happier. I mean, just think about some of the service that you all experience today.
Mm-hmm.
Think about your last couple of weeks, going to the doctor's office, going into the food store, going grocery shopping. I mean, it's like the bar is so low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what you'll hear me. People try to drag me into the product race, the arms race, I call it, with product, and try to drag me into are y'all constantly? Yes, we're going to constantly innovate. And if you talk to some of my partners, they spend all day and night thinking about innovation. But I pretty quickly drift off into the service side, because that's just where my heart lies, is taking care of people and treating people, the way that I've always wanted to be treated. And if we can build that, and we can show our customers first, and our partners, our brand partners, our suppliers, and then ultimately other brands, that there is a better way, and that you can afford to pay people what they should be paid for doing the right thing, and for showing up, and for working after hours, and you can help them build a better life for themselves, they will stay around, and they will help you ultimately, grow. And that's all we're trying to do.
Well, y'all have lived that out, and we've seen it for the last 3 years. And I actually just had my first service with y'all. I had to send back a pair of waders for a warranty repair.
I love hearing these stories.
First pair you sold us anyways. So like you said, they're not bulletproof. Things happen. But sent them back in. Was kind of wondering what was going on. So I called the office today. Somebody picked up. I can't remember the guy's name. Picked up. Let me go look in the warehouse. He runs back there, lays eyes on my waders, comes back and tells me what's going on. Like that type of service you just don't get everywhere.
That's right. And most of everybody from our shop is up here right now. So we're running on a skeleton crew, but they're still gonna handle it that way,
Yeah.
Well, I know that it's something that you have to work on every day, and I mean, that's the same, just like with my business. I mean, we're not always going to beat people's prices, and as tough as the insurance world is right now, it's hard to beat any prices. But one thing we can do is provide a better service than other people, and so, but you guys are killing it on in both in your product, and I'm excited to see the new stuff that's coming out as well. I mean, we love the the stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we call it old stuff, because it's not old, but every year we get excited about this time, because the new stuff starts kind of trickling out a little bit, and then we always know there's a little more that Field will not tell me about.
It's getting harder and harder to keep that stuff from trickling out.
Well, the number one question that I get about us doing this show is, man, tell us what Shin's coming out with next. And I tell people all the time, and if there's anybody watching or that listens to this, they probably have asked me before. I tell them all the time, Field Norris will not tell me anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I ask, and he will not tell me anything.
Yeah.
So
because they rep themselves on being
That's
waterproof, and they don't even let the secrets leak.
That's right.
And it is so tight. It's getting a little looser now. We've got more people in the organization.
Yeah.
The nature of the beast, but I've got, I've got several of my best friends up here this week with us, and my brother-in-law is coming tomorrow, and they'll say the same thing Brian just said. I don't tell them anything. I think my cousin Drew probably knows more than anybody, because he's in the truck with me most days going to duck hunt, but it's pretty tight little group.
Yeah. Well, look, let's take a short little break. Let's we always love to show love to our sponsors here. Let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna play a game with Field Norris. We got a couple of games we want to play with him today to find, for us to find out more about him and for all the viewers to find out more about him. So when we come back,
It'll be a nightmare.
When we come back, we are going to play Who is Field Norris right after this. We'll be right back. Welcome back to episode 21. It is the season 2 finale, and who else would we rather have on with us than our buddy Field Norris from Shin Gear. Field, we appreciate you joining us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee tonight.
Well, I'm sorry we're not in a more exciting venue. This hotel room gets more and more boring after every commercial break, but maybe next year we'll get it cranked up down there.
Well, the presidential suite is a nice place to be. So, I mean, we just appreciate you taking time.
Buddy, I'm slumming around on the first floor. I promise you.
They got you in one of the handicap rooms.
Yeah, and
the
that's
first
exactly
floor?
that's exactly where I belong too. Watching that commercial a minute ago, if anybody deserves to be up in the big suite, it's Dylan Farrell.
That's right. That's right. We appreciate, Dylan was, I think he was episode 1 of this season.
Yeah.
And,
Got to hear how much fun we had in the warehouse. I heard.
That's right. They, we got to keep that. We're going to keep that one a secret. I think I think they were having so much fun. The next episode we do, we're going to come shoot it live in the warehouse after hours.
That's right.
That would
So,
be we need to
Shin after hours.
That's right. Special episode. But, well, look, let's play a little game, Field. Who is Field Norris is what we want to know. So I got a couple questions here for you.
let me tell you, I'm terrible at this stuff.
Well, no, they're real easy. I mean, these are really easy questions, but it's just for our viewers to get to know you a little bit better. So, I mean, first one's real easy. I mean, where was Field Norris born at?
Memphis, Tennessee. That is
Memphis, Tennessee. So you've never left.
never left.
So do you still actually live in Memphis or outside of
As
Memphis?
far as Oxford,
Okay.
Mississippi, and
Okay.
actually I grew up out in the country. I grew up in a little town called Collierville, Tennessee,
Okay.
outside of Memphis. So it was even closer to Oxford than Memphis.
Okay.
45 minutes south.
Okay. All right. Well, good deal. Good deal. What is Field Norris's favorite sport? Because I know you're a sports fan. I know you're an Ole Miss fan.
Talking about traditional sports, right?
Yeah. Well, any kind of sports. I mean, it could be water polo if that's what you're into.
Football.
But
Football.
football. Okay. I thought you were going to say Razorback baseball, but everybody. If my head coach
To each
was
their
Lane
own.
Kiffin, I'd probably like football a little more too. So
See, if I were clever, I'd have answers like water polo or badminton or something like that.
that's right. What's your favorite food, or maybe your favorite restaurant? And I mean anywhere. Maybe not something you eat all the time. If you had to pick, this is my favorite, hands down, my favorite food at a restaurant.
This resembles my son's like 3rd grade, all about dad post that I saw him do. I say steak. I like a good steak, but I also like a full body, fully plucked, smoked teal.
Mm.
So
I would have to say those are 2 good choices.
better question would be, what's your favorite meal? And I'd have smoked teal as an appetizer and then a big steak as the main course.
Well, then we can do it that way. However, Speaking of your son, we actually, the people didn't get to see him, but he was
We
actually.
should have pulled that out of the archives.
Yeah.
That's
We
right,
should have pulled that back out.
So
I forgot about that.
yeah. If you've watched some of our other episodes, people watch it. You've heard some of this story, but not the full story. But just
Yeah.
a quick version. we had Field's son on the episode we did with Shin, and he had some unreleased product that we actually got him to model and filmed him. And then at the last minute, Field called. I was like, "Man, we can't air that. We're not ready to put it out yet." So actually, we have known about something before it came out before, but I think that's when they cut us out. They won't let us know anymore. So
that's when y'all decided to go live, right?
That's right. That's right.
Just know we're trustworthy because we didn't do anything with it.
We didn't show
So
anybody.
you can trust us. We're very trustworthy.
Cam is the only person that even knows where that footage is. I have no clue where it is.
If you ever, I will trip up. I'll be the one that puts something out there that shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, so that's why we go live now, is because if Field shows something, we got it. We got it. But
well, I think you can officially tell us your favorite mossy oak pattern now since it's out there.
Man, tree stand.
There's
no question. I mean, I love them all. And some days we may argue. I got to go hunt in the Pacific Northwest this year to do our shadow grass. We did a bunch of content for that. And I love old school shadow grass, the original. And when I'm out there, or when I'm in a rice field, but I have to pick one, I'm gonna wear tree stand.
Why does every pattern look so good on the shin waders? It doesn't matter what you're on. They just look good.
We spend a lot of time printing that now. We got to make those guys happy. So we do a lot of takeoffs.
Well, then that's what Garrett and I were talking about. The patterns. I'll be honest with you. I've never liked shadow grass. I mean, it was. I mean, I wasn't like against it. I'm just, it wasn't one of my favorite. I've always kind of been a bottomland guy, or even a mossy oak breakup. But
I had a lot of breakup.
But the shadow grass was just too bright for me. I didn't like it. But man, y'all's printing of it, and I guess now you get further down the road, things are just better quality. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So it looks phenomenal.
Yeah,
it looks.
Well,
phenomenal.
It was one of the old. I mean, so I guess when I was actually a little too late for the tree stand era. I mean, I came along. I was born in 1983, and but I remember it. My grandfather had it. My dad, it was tree stand was all around camp.
Mm-hmm.
But I was right. I mean, I was in the thick of my addiction, as an 8 or 9 year old to duck hunting when shadow grass was a big deal. And, I can't remember which mossy oak, which Whistling Wings video it was. I mean, I had them all, and I watched them so much it wore out the tape, the VCR tape. But one of them had shadow grass on the cover. It was like Whistling Wings 2 or 4.
Yeah.
So anyway, all of it is nostalgic for me.
Garrett sent me a picture a couple weeks ago of me driving a boat. I guess he was laying in the bottom of the boat. He took a picture of me while I was driving it, and I had on Max 4.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, how in the hell did we ever kill a duck in that bright stuff? I don't know how we ever killed it, because we weren't hunting in a rice field. We were hunting in willow trees.
Yep.
And
we just work with what we have.
And
baby.
we were killing them. And I was thinking, man, I look like a caution light out there, as bright as it was. But nonetheless, back to got a couple more questions for you. So where is your favorite travel destination, or somewhere that you want to visit? Either somewhere you have been or somewhere you want to go.
All right. Not hunting related, right?
It can be hunting related. Where this is your
Let's
question.
Talk about off season. It makes my wife happy
vacation spot.
Favorite vacation spot. All right. That's tough. I can't tell you where my favorite spot is in South Florida. But there's a spot down there. Let's just say it's south of Tampa.
Close enough. You got us regional. Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah. Maybe you
don't have to give us the address to your personal condo down there or anything.
That's that is just a really special. There's some islands down there that you don't need a passport for, but you do have to take a boat to. And when you show up there, it still feels like old Florida, fish camp to me. I mean, there's plenty of ritzy, fancy places on the coast, but when you get out there, it's solar panels and You know, you've got the Gulf of Mexico out your front door and a bay out your back door. And to me, that's the best of both worlds, because the kids can, you know, when they were younger, Garrett, this will resonate with you, but they can go make sandcastles, and Ellie can sit there and read books, and then I can hop on a boat and go fish. So that's a really special place to me, starting February 1st. If I could live down there from February to March 15th, and then, you know, you got turkey season down there that opens early. Yeah. And it's really fun. Mike Tussey, who works with us now, has been down there. I've been down there all day talking turkey with him, and he's got a huge operation and a bunch of land tied up down in South Florida. So that's a special place. And then I'm never going to have one answer. I have to mix it. All right.
That's okay. So it's your show.
If I had to go on a summer vacation, it's too hot down there, and there's these little gnats and bugs. So I like to go out west, and I like the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming. They're older mountains, so they're softer, if that makes any sense, instead of the jagged Rocky Mountains. It's just the air's thin and it's beautiful. So we ride horses, and we'll take a pack trip up into the mountains and camp up there and catch wild trout. And I've grown up going out there since I was 6 or 7. So
sound like some pretty nice places.
Well, they're not. So that's the key, though. They're not fancy. I mean, the cabins.
No, I don't mean fancy. I just mean they sound nice. I mean, I like to go places that me and Garrett like to go to a lake around here that's
I like to go
nice.
to Millwood.
We love it.
Absolutely beautiful, and it's wild, and it's kind of like close enough, you know, that you can get to a store. But I mean, the cabins we stay in Wyoming, they don't have air conditioner, they don't have TVs. They're old hand-hewn log cabins. Mm-hmm. And it's it's working cattle country. And the place I like to go in Florida is solar panel, and you know, half the time the water filter system doesn't work, but you're there on a beach with no condos, and you know, it's kind of the way I like it. So
well, that's I like it. I'm in. So
but I can't take you there because there's only, I mean, it's hard enough to get a house in these places, man.
Well, I didn't expect.
You're not trying to draw a crowd, huh?
He won't even tell me what the
It's like all these public land hunters. You can't. I mean, nobody will take me because they don't want me to figure out where their spot is. So you gotta be in the right crowd to get the invite.
That's right. Yep. Well, look, last question for you on getting to know Field Norris. What is your biggest fear, or what are you most scared of? I mean, is it spiders, snakes? What is it? I mean, big old leak in your waders? What's Field Norris's biggest fear?
Did somebody tell you about the snakes?
I did not. No, nobody has. I threw that in there because
you and Brian, y'all share a common fear. Yeah.
I'm scared to death of them.
That's probably my only fear.
We saw the video from y'all. I think it was a turkey trip y'all were
on. Yes, it was.
The snake ran.
Oh, did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we saw that.
That's real, dude. I do not like them.
Yeah.
He just took off running across the field.
I do not like snakes. And that's probably not the only thing that scares me, but that is definitely, I'd rather lay down in bed with a grizzly bear or an alligator. I'm fine with any of that. The snakes are bad.
Yeah.
They're just, they're sneaky. You know, I don't like sneaky. I like things that I can see and hear coming.
Yeah. Well, it's like I say all the time when people say, "Oh, snakes aren't that bad." If it wasn't good in the Bible,
right,
it's not good now.
It ain't gonna be good here.
So,
yeah,
take it or leave it. But all right, well, now we know a little more about Field Norris. See, that wasn't too tough. I wasn't trying to trip you up by any means. I wasn't trying to trip you up. But
that was lower school stuff.
Look, let's talk a little bit about duck hunting. Let's now you hunt a little of both. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Do you hunt a little both the private and public land?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're hunting, and of course, don't give a specific location, but where is your? Now you're in northeast Arkansas. Is that kind of the area where you hunt at?
Yeah, I mean, I hunt all over, but I would say my kind of where I grew up hunting, and where all of us did. I mean, that's the origin of Shin. It's a French word, and the area that we grew up hunting in has a heavy French influence in northeastern Arkansas. So we've got the Langy River, the Bayou de View, the Cache, you get on down to the prairie, you got the LaGrue and all these different areas but I would say my core, y'all know people from Little Rock don't like driving any further than 30 minutes. They got Stuttgart. They got that area locked up. Well, Memphians kind of had to go a little bit further, but an hour west of Memphis and hour north, west, or south was kind of the region that if you grew up in Memphis and you grew up in a family that duck hunted, that's where you went. So I grew up hunting in Cross County outside of kind of between Wynn and Colt, just off the Langee River. And my family, my mom's side of my family still hunts there to this day. So my grandfather, it was back in the 50s or 60s when he started hunting there, and they still have the same camp house, the same lease that we had back then. And then I kind of migrated up north a little bit. And now I'd say my primary duck spot where we like to start is in Poinsett County, just northwest of Wiener. So that Highway 49 corridor. And then I end up generally in January, although this year was a little different, but I generally end up spending more time in South in Lee County, around Marietta. We've got a place on the Mississippi River down there that I like to hunt in. So,
and now we've talked in the last few of our episodes about how terrible our duck season was this year. You, from talking to you, you didn't experience that this year. Yours was pretty good. I mean, tell us a little bit about that, because we don't know.
So,
I mean,
it'll be nice to get a little pick me up and hear about a good season.
I'm going to take you in a different direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take us there.
I'm sure my duck success was down. I mean, just like everybody. If I spent this year in the mindset of how many, what am I going to harvest, or how many successful hunts am I going to have based on how many ducks come into the hole, I'd probably be really, really disappointed. But I started this season with a totally different mindset, and I didn't set out to take, as many customers or clients as I could. This year for me was all about taking kids, and it's amazing how much my mindset changed, my season changed. I mean, the success a group of kids have, and the dads who typically, I get really stressed out as I'm sure a bunch of your listeners do, if you're hosting people on your property, or not, if you're public land hunting, but everybody in your boat's relying on you to get them to the hole, and you get in there and you do all this hard work, all the off-season work, all the stuff we go through as waterfowlers, and then you show up and you don't kill any ducks, or you kill a couple wood ducks at daylight and mallards aren't doing it. It can be really, really stressful. I mean, just the human psychology behind it is real. So if you take a kid out there, they're just happy to have somebody that cares enough to spend time with them. Like, they do not judge any success by the amount of birds that come in the woods. I've watched these kids. I think they had more success, like in their mind, picking up how many acorns they picked up one day in the water, and they counted them when we got back to the lodge. So I had the unique, that I was lucky to be able to take kids, and I've got a place that I can take them. But I think we had 7 first ducks, that I was a part of this year, and watching them write that down in the logbook. And the dads who might typically stress me out if I was taking them, like, it kind of clicks with them,
Mm-hmm.
I have to, some of us need to be coached and trained and taught, but it's like, hey guys, we may go and not pull the trigger, but these kids are going to have an amazing time, and they're going to remember it forever. So when I say I had the best season of my life, it was truly the connections that I had with these fathers and sons and daughters, watching them kill their first ducks, taking them to the taxidermist and teaching them, how that worked, and how you got to wait till the summer. You don't get this back tomorrow. So I'll pause there, but it really opened my eyes to kind of this vortex vacuum, if you want to call it that a lot of us have gotten sucked into in recent years with social media and just this need to like perform and kill and, you know, get pictures and be better and win. And I mean, that's all human stuff, right? Athletes deal with it.
Yeah.
But if we would all take a step back and really think about why we're there, I mean, we can redefine success every day and be much happier.
Well,
Yeah.
kids, they don't remember the kill. They just remember that you took them, that somebody took the
All they
time and
remember.
took them into the woods.
Yep.
You know, I took my little boy on his first deer hunt this year, and we didn't do anything. We just sat in a stand. I don't even think we saw a deer.
Yeah.
And he's still asking me, when are we going deer hunting again? Well, it's not deer season, but you know, they just get so excited about the smallest things.
They're so impressionable too. And I mean, you can just take a little bit of time and teach them about, you know, prints in the mud or bark on the tree, you know, teach them how the sun rises in the east, and they're just immersed in it. And but take that one step further. And I know it sounds like I'm on a campaign right now, but if you really reflect on some of those and think, okay, well, what if I don't have kids around? You know, what if I'm just going with my uncle or my two hunting buddies from college? What if I reset their expectations, you know, and preface the hunt with, hey guys, we're probably going to go out there and we won't kill much because it's just a down season and, you know, weather's not cooperating. And quite frankly, there are fewer ducks than I think we've ever had. And a lot of pressure. But the alternative is to sit at home, you know, and stay in your routine. Or we can come up here and hang out in God's creation and talk about the good old days and just be thankful to be alive, you know.
Take the focus off of yourself and focus on somebody
They're all
else.
going to say, okay, we're still coming. I mean, they're not going to cancel the trip. And then you go out there and you have a great time, and there isn't pressure. And you know,
Well, and it is like you said. I mean, the pressure, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this, or maybe it's just not everybody, right? Maybe there are people that aren't as serious about it to where they don't feel that pressure. But I think there's a couple different groups of people there. One, like you hit on, people that have private land, put a lot of work into it. And whether they're carrying clients or somebody or not, just because they have so much invested in it, I have to kill them. I have to kill them, right? So there's that pressure of that. And then when you're taking somebody, right, you've got that pressure because you feel like even if you're taking them to a public place, I mean, you really don't have any hand in that. I mean, it's a crapshoot, but you have that pressure on you that I'm the one that set this hunt up. I'm the one that's, you know, I need to perform to where, you know,
Right.
It's a good hunt for everybody. And then for you, and even for, I don't know if I can speak for Garrett, but just for me, I mean, from the podcast standpoint, you know, like I feel pressure sometimes with what if we don't perform at all? Will people still listen to our show? Will people still watch it? Will we be credible to people if we're not good hunters? Right. I mean, I'm not saying we have to go out and kill 50 mallards a hunt and post the pictures, but I mean, are we a credible source? Will people listen to us and take us seriously? And same thing with you, you know, with your business, you know, I mean, there's a little bit of that pressure of, I mean, we're the shin guys. We got to kill some ducks. We got to, you know, that's what we do, you know? And so I get that when you say that, you know, and I think there were some times that Garrett and I just said, you know, hey, I mean, man, we may not kill them, but you know what? We only got this many days left. Let's just go do it, you know? And I think a lot of that was because of how poor the season was. And we were just like, man, our expectations are so low now that we just need to, you know, but
if my dog gets to pick up her merganser, I'm happy.
There's a pressure that a lot of people don't understand. They really don't.
Yeah. And I think if we're going to continue to enjoy the sport, which we all want to, you know, if you're going to hang up your waders and not buy a license next year because you had a bad season, you're not a real, you know, you're not really a true dedicated waterfowler. So we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
And yes, there are things that we can always work to improve and change, and we can be active in our, you know, our fight to make things better. But I just think if everybody would take a step back, this goes for, you know, one of your questions earlier about the brands and the race, the arms race of gear and camo patterns and all, like the numbers, waterfowlers are just steadily declining, and if we could find a way to fight less and to try to one up less and to just be happy to be out there and watch a sunrise, I think we'd be happier. I know we'd be happier people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we would in turn be better advocates for the sport and be more attractive to others. And just imagine if we reset the bar on what success looked like, like success to me. So you mentioned shin gear, the pressure to kill ducks. That pressure does not come from shin gear, because we intentionally, when we started this business, that was one of the things that we talked about. Like, we have got to change, the perception that's out there right now of what success looks like in duck hunting. The pressure comes from me, like all the hours I've put into in the off season, building and planting and growing and watering, and that's the pressure. But if we redefine that and say, you know what, this is just what I love to do. I mean, I would be a fanatic public land hunter if and would thrive in that world and would love it. I know I'd get caught up in it, but I like to manage in the off season too much. I mean, I have to have private land come hell or high water, because I like planting the stuff in the spring and watching it grow all summer, So anyway, maybe that could be success, is like, did we attract some migratory waterfowl to our property this year?
Yeah.
Did we go out on public land and have good times with friends and take our dogs out of the house and have an opportunity to kill a duck?
Yeah.
Because in other countries, they don't even have an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would encourage everybody to start thinking about. And it's not that foreign if you look at other outdoor pursuits. I mean, we if you're a fly fisherman, you take the barb off a hook, you land a fish, and it's cool to release it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to sit in a deer stand and pass on a 140-inch buck and let them get bigger. I personally think it would be pretty cool if you go out there and you could have killed a limit of greenheads, but you left a couple behind and went and ate breakfast early. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about that, before. I mean, the mindset has got to change. I mean, it just has to. I mean, we people who have been doing it for longer than, a year or two or three, they've been doing it for a long time. I mean, it's up to us to change the mindset, because people getting into the sport are not going to change it, right? I mean, they're only going to follow suit. So, it's up to people like that.
And I've got friends that they don't get to go much. They get 10 days a year they can hunt and take off work, and they try to plan those 10 days around the weather or family stuff. And when they get to go, I mean, if they get into ducks, like, by all means, kill them all. This is not, when I say leave a few behind, it's all relevant, right?
Yeah. You don't mean all the time.
No, heck no. I mean, if I get a group of kids in there, or I have a year that I'm traveling a lot and I don't get to hunt much, I'm a killer just like everybody else. But if we're fortunate enough to get to hunt a lot and get to hunt, special places and have a few good hunts, let's start thinking about, like, what success means the rest of the season, right? I mean, like, I had some really good hunts in November, and it really starts to sink in December. It's like, wait a minute. Like, I was fortunate enough to see this show, to see these ducks come through the woods back in November. Maybe I could lay off them a little bit and try to hunt some new areas. Maybe I should go try to hunt this big water, or take a bunch of kids that have never shot before, or call in one or two big volleys, shoot, and then say, all right, guys, let's go eat breakfast. And, it's just different. And, and then you have a stretch of really bad days, and you start to you're a little humbled, and you get that drive again to think, oh, I'd kind of like to kill some ducks again. And you just remind yourself, like, man, I got to do this. That's right. There are a lot of people in the world that don't get to wake up and do this, and don't, even have the opportunity to see this. So,
Yep. Well, it's very humbling for sure. And I think we all need to humble ourselves a little bit and realize, just like you said, that, I mean, even on the bad days, or you string a couple days together and you're down, Garrett and I were there a lot this season.
Plenty.
You know? And
it's really all about perspective.
just got to put it all in perspective. Right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, look, let's take our last break of the night, get a couple commercials in there, and then when we come back, we're going to talk some shin gear real quick before we let you go. We know you got plenty of stuff to do, but everybody wants to hear, what shin gear has got going on, and kind of where you've come from year one, and what's coming up this year, because I know you got some pretty cool stuff. So we'll be right back.
Okay, all right.
All right, welcome back. It is our final segment of the night here on the season finale of season 2. And so we appreciate Field Norris for being with us again. Field, again, we not only appreciate you for joining us tonight, but being a good friend to us, and for Shin Gear being a part of our show here in season 2. And we hope to continue our partnership moving forward. And we really appreciate you guys and love the products so much. But everybody's wanting to know. I mean, we've talked about all kinds of stuff, but everybody wants to know from the horse's mouth, what's coming down the line for Shin Gear. And I know Johnny asked just a minute ago, he said, when are we going to get some little kids Shin Gear, which I don't know if he, we have the waders out and you have some of the gear out, right? What all do you have for kids? Let's hit on that first.
Man, we're trying hard to get, we will have a full line for kids. It's just been a challenge to get everything sourced, and we've only got so much bandwidth. But that's one I'm not afraid to announce that I just spent 10 minutes on your show talking about taking youth hunting, and so that's a personal mission. We're going to have. I mean, they want to have the 60 series just like Dad, and all the stuff. So it's coming.
Well, so a few things that you guys have put out so far. You got more of the scout boots coming, different patterns, different colors.
Yeah.
I know those were shown on social media. I don't think they're on your website yet, but they, some of that's been shown on there.
Yeah. So we have a really neat program called Shin Underground, and I'd say those are our core, a really hardcore, diehard customers that give us a lot of feedback throughout the year on product design and what it may be an issue or something that we could do better, critique or ideas. So we release a lot of information to that group early, and that's where a lot of the stuff leaks out. But so we got a whole new lineup of scout boots, different colors. My favorite new color is the green leaf. Also green leaf. I am a big turkey hunter, so we've got those out here at the show right now. And we also took our we had a really popular launch of our knee boots, and
new colors
sold out of those colors quickly.
Yeah.
And so we got another solid color in, and now we've got those kind of in a slimmed down version, a little bit lighter, a little bit cooler. So I'm looking forward to continuing to turkey hunt in there in those. All of this stuff we test for a couple years, so it's hard for me to remember what I haven't had, or what's new, because I've had it for so long. But when I see the final product out there, they look good.
So it's going to be a full line of Greenleaf with the scalp, with the field pants and the 60 series. I mean, I need everything to turkey hunt.
We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
We're a boot company.
Well, they got the boot out. I mean, I'm just
trying to get decked out for turkey season. Is all.
I know. I'm still hunting in tree stands, so it works just good.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit about the I don't know. Are you guys calling it the new wader? The S2 or 2S? What? Correct me.
2S.
So talk about that for a second.
That's been a big secret that we've kept. I think we did a pretty good job of keeping that under wraps. I don't know of any leaks on that, but we really, I mean, from day one, like we got our first wader design and got the patent on that, took it to market, and we immediately began trying to improve upon that wader. I mean, from day one, we wanted to have as few seams as possible. So we get a lot of requests for knee pads and different pockets and things, and while those are all great and there are plenty of applications, I know that would be helpful. We're just not willing to sacrifice the integrity of the wader to put extra seams and stitching in there. And every time we experiment with different ways to provide that same outcome without sacrificing the integrity, it doesn't work quite like we'd want it to. So, I mean, we were able to finally come up with a process to eliminate most of the seams. So these waders now have a seam coming up the outside of your leg and then a crotch seam, but we've eliminated all of the over the knee stitching. And it creates less friction points and we did a lot when we took the needle and thread away and seam sealed where the fabric meets, but now we've even taken it to another level and just seam sealed straight down the edges. So
yeah. And did it say, was there anything done to the boot? I saw a picture of it and it had a few little things on there, but I wasn't.
We re-engineered the boot. It's not noticeable, but the compounds in the boot are different. We were, I mean, some of these guys are harder than we could be on the boots, and I guess they're walking thousands of miles, but we found a couple weak points that we were able to beef up. Of course, anytime we see somebody that literally wore the boot enough to make it crack or whatever and it wasn't abused, we replace it. But we are constantly, I mean, if we can come up with a better way to get that rubber in a mold for a boot, we're going to do it every single year. We're not that's one thing. We're not waiting around because we got better margin or whatever. And I'm telling you guys, that was one of the most common answers. Well, why can't we make it so that it doesn't do that? Well, that would be too expensive. That's going to cost an extra $50 a unit. We'll just do it, and if we need to charge more, we will. And if they don't buy it, we'll give them away for Christmas presents.
Yeah. Well, just keep us on your Christmas list if that happens.
That's right. If things fall through, we want to be the first to know.
Now, for the new waders, will they be the same price as the other ones? As what they have?
We did have to go up.
Okay.
$50, and
okay.
It's that was a business decision. I mean, the consultants would tell you we should have gone up a lot more. The cost increased dramatically. And this would be probably for another podcast another day. I'd be happy to teach y'all more about the business kind of behind the scenes, but it's kind of an asinine decision we make as a board to just make even less money, but to put a better product out there without trying to cripple people with prices. So, and we hope that if we keep doing that, someday it'll all kind of work out,
So moving forward, will everything be the new wader style, or will you still, do you still have any of the old ones left to sell, or is it now moving forward?
Very little. We definitely have some in the warehouse, but as most people know, we ran out of most of the sizes before season even started. So we've got it's really hard in this business, again, for another day, but it's hard to guess. You know, we order all of our stuff once a year and we try to guess the sizing. So we may be left over with a bunch of 9XLs, you know, but
That's
again,
why we like to come in. That's why we could like to come at on the launch in what is it, June or July that we come
right,
every year.
get
That's
your
why
fill.
we like to come. So there's sizes, you know.
Yeah, but you're never going to see us dump anything on the market or have a sale, or, you know, what's there is there. And you can probably save $50. And if you're one of those sizes that we still have in the warehouse, you can save a little bit of money and get the old style. They're lifetime warranty. So, you know, as great as the new style is, the old style is we're still going to take care of them. So
yeah. And before we let you go, I mean, we know you got stuff to do, but
guys, my family don't get here till tomorrow. My son's got a basketball game, so I'm all alone tonight.
Well, it's the waist waiter. Now,
yes.
what exactly are y'all calling that? Are you calling it a waist waiter or a pant waiter or
wading pants?
Wading pants. Okay, I was close. I was beating around the bush there everywhere. So
And
wading pants.
they feel like pajamas.
Oh, I bet they do. Tell us
awesome.
about those.
It's it's just comfortable. If you've never worn them before, you probably wonder, why would I have that? I certainly don't need both. And there's certain people that would rather just have the waiter and have the hand pocket right here. But if you do a lot of pit hunting or shallow water timber hunting, boat hunting, you know, and you try them, it's hard to take them off. They're comfortable.
Yeah. And so I saw, I don't remember where I saw it, but I think they'll be offered in one color and a pattern. Maybe bottomland and brown. Is that what you?
I know we've got bottomland and I think bottomland and either tree stand or original bottomland, and then a brown.
Okay.
I'm off my game. I've been
well.
Down
That's
there.
all right. We won't hold you to it, but
there's three different options though, and I actually had a little bit different color, but I use them to fish. When I go out west, it's they're awesome. I mean, it's the same deal, you know, super tough, durable, very comfortable boot, and you just don't have any bulk up here. I mean, it's just just like wearing a pair of pants.
I mean, is there anything else? I mean, y'all are debuting this stuff at the convention. So is there anything else that we haven't talked about yet that y'all are showing?
There's a lot. There's a lot down there, and I don't really care to go through it all. I'd say one of my favorites that's kind of a sleeper that I wasn't really involved in I'm not involved in much of any of the development, but I do get opinionated at times. There's a goose down wax canvas vest that is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's got heavy brass zippers, and I got to wear it a bunch. There is more of a synthetic, kind of lighter weight synthetic down camp jacket, we're calling it, lodge or camp jacket, but it's really comfortable, and you can wear it. I mean, I wore it inside the camp a bunch. It's not a vest, it's a long sleeve, and then I put that goose down vest over it, and that was a pretty cool combo. And then the last thing I'd say that I wore a lot that I really liked and actually wore it to dinner is a wool sweater with, got like a wax top and then just a sweater base. So anyway,
is that what was
I think I saw it in a picture.
Is that what was in the picture I sent to you? Do you remember me sending you that picture of the waiter pants?
That's what it was.
Okay.
He sent me the waiter pants, and I was like, I kind of like that sweat.
He was wearing that swever.
Yeah. So I sent the picture to Field, and I was like, "What's up with this man?" I mean, we've heard that they were coming. I mean, but it's not like we knew anything. Other people.
It's really some people. Fun the way Jeff Jones has designed most of this stuff, and the way that everyone at Shin Gear has input in what we do. And we do have differing opinions. I mean, look, we pass on so much stuff, and we don't agree on different tweaks and changes, but I think it's really cool that for the most part, we all agree on kind of the best way I can describe it is where traditional meets technical. So we've got highly technical gear, the waders, the slew boot. I mean, first to market on that. I don't know of anyone else that's ever come up with something like that. So we got this real technical stuff that's first blush. Somebody may say, "Oh, that's weird." Well, that is there's an application. And then we've got this traditional stuff with the wax cotton, wax canvas, that kind of reminds you of, the good old days and stuff your grandfather had. And
I like it.
It's just a blend. It's a good blend of both of those, I think. So,
well, you've got your you're meeting all the styles there. I mean, it's kind of a combination of everything.
Well, here's the thing: we're not trying.
Meets new school.
We're not trying to do it to meet, to be everything to everybody and to give everybody an option what they want. We're doing it because that's how we grew up, and like we love the old stuff, and we want that to continue to be a part of our lives and our kids' lives, and to carry on that heritage and that tradition. But we also love the technical features of some of the new stuff that just makes your day a lot more enjoyable. So if we can mesh the two, and I'll go all technical one day when I'm out, west, and it's negative 20 degrees and I'm hunting in the Columbia River Basin and I'm scared to death getting in the boat in big water, and like I'm pretty technical, but when I'm in Arkansas and it's 48 degrees, I can kind of maybe go traditional up top and technical waders. So
yeah. Well, look, I've got one last question for you before we let you go. When will Shin put out the Jeff Jones waxed boonie hat? That's what I want to know.
I got my pen. I'm gonna write that one down. The waxed boonie hat.
I want it to be called the the JJ waxed boonie hat.
Now, are you gonna play golf in that? Are you gonna wear that on the golf course? Or are you gonna wear that?
No. I'm talking about like the hat that he wears, whatever that is. Is it called a boonie hat?
You wouldn't believe the requests we've had for that thing.
Oh, I bet. That's why I was asking, because I think we've talked about that before. That it's been, and maybe it was with Jeff we asked.
When we get a sample of the JJ waxed boonie hat, I'm sending it to you.
I do not believe him, Garrett.
That's gonna be the first sample. That'll be the first sample he ever gets in the mail.
I have begged.
That's still not going to shut him up, though. I promise you.
I have begged this man to put you and I on the sample crew, and we can't get in. But we love you.
Can't break through.
You are good.
You
are good to us. So we don't. There's no negative feelings.
I got one more thing before we go. I guess one of the coolest things for me is just watching the growth of Shin over the last 3 years, from the time that we walked into the shop and talked to you, and you didn't know how to check us out, and you had prototypes and you just had very few things in there, to seeing what the company's done now and seeing the expansion and the growth at the shop, and you're hiring more people and you're doing all these new products and you're continuing to innovate, and all the things that y'all are doing is just how neat it's been to just be a very, very minute, very small part of that. That was something after me and Brian left that day and we had seen you. It's like, man, it'd be so cool if in some way we could be just a tiny sliver to help those guys. And to be able to do that has been really cool.
Well, my wife calls it manifesting. Like, you manifested that, and you have to, that's what you have to do in today's world. And all of that growth and all of that community and the spirit, of the place is all driven by our associates. And it's amazing. I still get chills when I walk into that shop and see how hard everybody's working and how well everybody gets along, and how just the drive that we have. I mean, it's different in there. It is, we are a family, and it's from product design and development, customer service, the warehouse, the repair center. I mean, if you went in there today, probably tonight, right now, as we speak, and everybody's up here at the show, Mateo is in the shop repairing waders and running through people, doing year-end, reviews on waders for people. So it's just an incredible group of talent. And when you get that many talented people together and you're all pulling in the same direction, you can do incredible things. So that's where we are. And hopefully we continue to do that. And we don't take any of it for granted. Garrett and Brian, we're not ever going to forget where we came from. And that day that I didn't know how to check out, I won't know how to check out 10 years from now. But we're going to make sure that we empower the people that do know how to do that, to do it and to run it as if it's their own business, and to take care of people as if they're part of their family. And we just trust. There's a lot of this is built on trust. So
yeah. Well, man, we appreciate you taking time out. And again, I mean, I can't tell you, Garrett and I, like he said, I mean, we are a very, very small part of what you guys do, and are never even thought about being a part. But we think about you guys all the time because we believe in the brand. And it's not that, we say, hey, man, this is the best thing ever made and nobody will ever top it and anything. But I mean, we just believe in the process you guys are going through, and how innovative you're being. And we believe in the goal and the the mindset behind it all. And we're just glad to be able to tell people about it and push people that way, because we tell people all the time, we're not just blowing smoke. I mean, we wear it. We're telling you from our experience, not just because, so
you tell them we don't pay you enough to blow smoke.
That's right. Well, we tell them all the time, look, these guys don't pay us to do this, but it's I mean, it's truly, but we, Garrett and I, we talk about it periodically, but like Garrett said, I mean, just from the day we met you until now, y'all's growth and how much we love the brand, and and it's just, we love to see you guys growing, and just to be able to know you and be a small part of it. And we appreciate the friendship and the partnership. And man, we hope that when we have you on here again next year, that there's just even crazier stuff we could talk about. I mean, so
I hope we're talking about a season that everyone found a way to find more joy in, even if they didn't kill as many ducks. That's right. That'd be a big win for me. And the gear kept them warm and dry, and they created memories with their friends and family. And if we can push that, then we'll all be happy.
Well, man, I hope you have a great time. Tell all of your team and everybody up there that I hope y'all sell everything you got. If y'all have stuff to sell, I don't know if you're just showing stuff or sell, but I hope you guys work your butt off this weekend.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I hope you get up here someday, and we'll see you sometime this spring or summer.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for season 2. We're wrapping it up. We'll be back this summer with a couple episodes. We may even come to you live from Shin Gear when we go up and visit with them in June or July, but we'll have a couple special episodes come up this summer. But until season 3, for all of us here at The Blind, we will see you next time somewhere down the road.